All right. Welcome to another expert interview. I start them all the same way. I always love the people we get to talk to. I happen to have worked with this gentleman for a long time in a lot of ways. I've been a client, I've been a referral partner. I'm definitely a friend, and he's a friend of mine. I'm sure we're going to dig into this book, which is fresh to the desk. And so I'm excited to talk about that. And with no further ado, Chris, why don't you tell us who you are and what you do, man? I know you'll do better at it than I am, but thank you for taking the time.
Devin, truly a privilege to hang out with you in your community. This is so fun. We've known each other for, like you said, a long time, served each other's worlds back and forth. And Devin actually just spoke at a live event we did in Palm Springs, California, and has just crushed it and brought an insane amount of value, just blew people's minds. Okay, here's what we do at Group Coach Nation. We teach experts how to build high ticket masterminds and high ticket group coaching programs. It's all about that positioning, the offer, what people in your world, the slice of that market who are actually your best clients are actually wanting from you, and how to do that in a very scalable, high profit margin, high service way that doesn't take a lot of your time.
I love that. Let's talk about the book. I got to tee you up. It's very fresh. I know you just did bestseller. Congrats on that in a lot of categories. So tell us, what is the book? What's inside of it? What can we expect if we grab a copy?
Absolutely. So, the Business Coach's Guide to Group Coaching, pretty straightforward. This is what we do. What we've put in here is an enormous amount of material in a simplified manner. So, our goal was to take what we teach people throughout a year, $30,000 program, and say, here's how you build an offer, here's how you define that market and make sure your offer is going to resonate with the market, how you price it, how you name it, and how you actually get it out the door and get your first 5 or 10 clients. That's what this book is all about. It's going from one-on-one or done for you to group coaching. And it's a very simple step-by-step process. One of the coolest things I love about this, first of all, Devin, you were helpful in this process. Thank you so much. One of the things I love about what we've done in this book is we've taken the real work of clients and we've highlighted those clients and done a ton of case studies in here. Every time we say, here's how to do this thing, we show you a couple case studies. We also have a membership area that comes with the book for free. And you can jump in there and watch the full interview with those case studies and have the templates they're using step by step. We just want you to actually take the simple steps, follow the ABC line through there, and it should make a difference.
So much value. Yes, dove into it, and I've been under content for a long time, but there's so much packed in there. I want to talk about making this transition from one-to-one coaching to group coaching. I know on my own journey, and for many consultants, right, you hit this capacity moment where you can't scale past your time. Maybe your revenue is increasing, but you feel like you're just working and spinning wheels. But I think there are some misbeliefs and fears around making that shift to a group model. Let's talk about that. Like, what are the blockers? What are the things that might be sitting in people's minds as they're listening to this going, Chris, I hear you. And by the end, maybe I believe you, but what's in the way?
Good question. Maybe you'll believe by the end. I hope so. Here's how we do this. There's a really simple structure that's important to understand. I think this will help with our conversation. I'm just going to share my screen real quick. This will help. Let me just whiteboard this thing out so you can see this. This will help with just the conversation that we're going through so you can see here's what actually matters. I call this our success triangle. It's really straightforward. This is not in the book. Sorry for you book readers. So there's the word success in the middle, a simple triangle. There are three big things that come into play when you're making any transition in life. It could be going from one-on-one coaching to group coaching. It could be buying and training a dog. Like, whatever your thing is, you have three big things to work with. You have time, team, and your talent. Now, I'm going to start with talent for a second. We all are freaking rock stars at some things. That's what makes you who you are. Like, you're a genius at it, and everybody wishes they were like you. Okay. People ask you, how do you do that? How did you get so good at that? Whatever. That's your talent. The flip side of that is it's like a pancake or a coin, right? There's the other side of that, which means there's weaknesses, deficiencies. Never focus on your deficiencies. Always focus on your talent. Just go after it, own that space. That's what you're awesome at. Sorry, my handwriting's atrocious. That's a deficiency of mine, right? I should not be the one whiteboarding this out. Time. The next thing down there. You have X number of hours in the day. We all do. That is the one equalizer, as people say, on the planet. That's what we all have and don't have. Time is what you have to work with. Okay. So own how much time you have and think through what are some simple strategies I can use. And I'm going to go from one-on-one to group coaching in this context. What are some simple strategies I can use to do two things around your time? Number one, find a little more of it. Meaning, is there something or some things you're doing that you can just scratch off the list and say, I don't want to do these things for the next 90 days. I'm just going to put those aside to create an extra half day or a day of my life every week where I can focus on something that's more important and more profitable and more scalable for me. So time, make some more time if you can, clear some things off. The second thing is the time that you have, are you using it efficiently? This is a tough one, but I'm going out there and prospecting. I'm getting clients. I'm doing the one-on-one work. I'm charging as much as possible. I got to go keep doing that. Yes, you do. You got to pay the bills, right? But you also have to think through what is the smartest use of that hour. So that's why I'm a huge fan of let's help find a little time so you can actually rock and roll and create something new. And that's something the Group Coach Nation, we talk about way up front in the process is let's find some time. Number three, team. Team is the thing that solves the talent and the time problem. If you're like, I don't know how to do this, then find somebody who does, a coach, a mentor, read a book, whatever it is for you. Find that team and lean in on that information and that structure and that accountability to actually get the stuff done. It could be somebody who's helping you administratively. It could be a coach. It could be all the above, but find someone to help you. Something simple to find time is frequently people will say, look, I've never hired somebody to help me with my home maintenance, my lawn, my cleaning, my cooking, whatever it is for you. You're like, I don't enjoy this thing, but I want the time back. Go find some time. Team helps with that. Team also helps you. So it helps you create time. It helps you solve the deficiencies or increase your proficiencies in the talent section. When you put these three things together, I'm not going to keep going with this analogy. You get the point. When you put these three things together, success is what happens in the middle of that. When you ignore any of these three things, the lack of success, the frustration, the burnout, the overwhelm is what happens. So we can keep coming back to this if you want to in the conversation, but I just want to set this framework because I think it'll be meaningful as we go ahead.
Love that. And I think you teed it up. So let's go to part two, right? Is making that shift to group coaching. And Gary sent me a question as well. What are some of the other benefits of shifting from one-to-one to group that you've seen and that your clients are seeing as they make the transition?
Great question, Gary. Here's the thing on group coaching. I'm going to start with the benefits to the client because I think that's what we all should be focused on, even though usually more time, more money, less overwhelm is what we have presenting in our faces every day, right? But the real reason we're here, and if you think about it, if you had all the time and money you needed and those weren't concerns for you, what would you be focused on? Your focus starts shifting to what impact am I actually having on the world and how's that changing people's lives and the lives they touch? So here's the truth about group coaching. When we're coaching and learning just as humans in a group, either you're the student or you're the coach, if you're in a therapy program, wherever the thing is, when we're in group settings, we learn and change and adopt information 5.3 times faster than when we're in one-on-one situations. You've all seen that if you've led groups. You've seen it if you've been part of groups. I learned that in a therapy setting. Excuse me. I learned that in a therapy setting where I was in a residential program for healing from some stuff that I had made choices on and others had made choices on me. And that therapy structure, a couple of days in, I was like, oh my gosh, why are we all like, I feel like we've gotten a year's worth of work done in like a week. What's that all about? And the therapist walked me through this data. They're like, this actually is better, faster than one-on-one therapy. Not better in the sense that you don't need a one-on-one therapist or one-on-one coach, but if you want to get somewhere and move the needle really rapidly, groups work better. So number one, groups are absolutely better for your clients. We've done this hundreds and hundreds of times, helped thousands of people through this process. It's hard to find a scenario where you can't do most of the work in groups. That's number one. Number two, the time that it takes to work with 10 clients, let's say 10 clients in a group versus 10 clients one-on-one on the weekly, is significantly different. The profit margins are significantly different. The freedom, lack of overwhelm, and lack of space you have in your head to ideate and think and strategize for your community is significantly different. That space, if there's anything I love seeing coaches have the aha moment about when they start getting into this, oh my gosh, it just happened. It's not, oh, I just made 5, 10 times more money, or wow, I'm only working 2 days a week. All those are great. All of a sudden, when that happens, a few months into it, they're like, I'm so much clearer. I'm writing a book. I have space to communicate. I actually see what the market needs. I know what the next offer is. All of that just clears up when you can clear the space. And that comes from time and not having to be in front of your computer all the time.
Chris, talk to me about. I really want to go to a practice what you preach moment because I've always respected this about you. Like you're always optimizing your life to protect your time, protect your family time, protect what's important to you. Give us a glimpse behind the curtain, right? What's your schedule look like? How are you working? How are you implementing what you're teaching?
It's so fun. I work 12 to 14 hours a week right now. I've had that down as low as 90 minutes a week, but honestly, I got bored and a little depressed. I think I need to work. The magic line for me is in that 12 to 14-hour space. Typically, when I get closer to 20 hours a week, I start getting a little overwhelmed. Like the fog starts showing up, too many details flying around. I need space to work 4 to 6 hours a day, 2 or 3 days a week, and then be able to go for a run, walk the dog, hike. I cut my own yard. A lot of my friends are like, why do you do your own yard work? For some reason, walking behind a lawnmower for a couple of hours, I don't have a riding lawnmower or anything. I walk behind a lawnmower. I get more done thinking in that time without having a list to think about. It just happens. I'm a trail runner. Trail running, for some reason, is that cadence just helps me think. What is it for you? You'll find the thing. So right now, for instance, Jill and I are empty nesters. Our youngest two kids are just going to college, and this is crazy. I haven't told you even this thing. We're literally selling everything. This is one of the biggest life changes we've ever done. We're selling everything. We're buying an Airstream, and we're roaming around the United States for the next, I don't know, 5 years is our goal. We know we want to have a home farther out west in the mountains. We don't know what community that's going to be in yet. And so we thought we've always wanted to do this. How fun would it be to have an Airstream, go try it out, try out communities? We have that space because we work Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, half-ish days, those 3 days. And then we have 4-day weekends where we can travel and play and explore and build community. And that's the stuff that actually really gets the work done. I think I get more work done in a 4-day weekend without any plans to think about a topic than I do in the 3 days I'm actually trying to get some work done and sitting down with a notepad and trying to think through it.
Love that. When you make it west and you want to hang out in Reno for a little bit, we'll welcome you with
We'll
open
be there,
arms.
parked in the driveway for months on end.
You totally can. We can hook you up. It's great. No costs. We have plenty of land. It's great. And then you can connect with actually everyone who's on here lives in Reno, which is funny because we have so many clients and participants internationally and nationally. Happy to do that for you.
We'll have a big meetup at Reno. Yeah, it'd be great.
Perfect. Talk to me about a case study. I know you mentioned they're in the book. I'd love to get an example of when did someone come to you? What process did they go through? What has the outcome looked like? Paint the picture for us.
I want to mention somebody named Phil Palusha. He's in the book. I think you've met Phil. Phil is a really interesting thinker and communicator. He has a podcast, a TV network he's purchased. He's buying and selling international football teams now. He's getting into all kinds of stuff. But when I first met him a few years ago, he was doing coaching, lots of one-on-one, had done some group, but was really working on what is the offer? What's the thing that's going to actually change people's lives? What are they going to want? What's the ascension model going to look like? How do I invite them to group number one? And then 12 weeks later, they want to step into group number two because it actually worked and group number two is important to them. How do you build that success and the pattern for people to keep taking the next steps? We started working on that. And I remember a few months after we started working together, I think it was about 5-6 months later, he sent me a text and said, dude, just locked in my first $500,000 in the bank account with this program. It's so great to see that. It's so fun to see the success because I was watching his clients have success and watching his clients just beg for more and want to ascend through his programs and watching him build freedom. He lives on an island in the Caribbean now. It's so fun to watch what he's doing. That one, and then can I bring up one more? Jonna Lee, who's also in the book. Jonna was actually there with us in Palm Springs, Devin. You know her. Somebody who's an unbelievable person at helping you, all of us, find that key executive person, see the operational through line, what's holding us back organizationally, and finding and building that person to actually say, this person can help set you free, a key operator in your business. That's Jonna's world. She's freaking genius at it. Her going from taking clients one at a time through that to helping larger communities do that at scale. And again, 3.5 times faster getting results for her clients because her clients are seeing other key leaders in the community doing things a certain way with their key leadership. That's so impactful. There's something magic about all of us being in a room where other people are changing their lives and following the steps, and they're having an aha moment. And we're like, oh my gosh, I'm so glad you just said that. That's what I needed to hear. I didn't know I needed to ask that question.
All that. Thank you for sharing. So yes, both amazing people that I've connected with through you. Yeah, love both of them. Talk to me about, there's two paths. I'll let you pick which one you want to go down, but I want to hit both. Either defining your market, and it was something that's hypercritical. And when you're in one-to-one, maybe it's a little more loosey-goosey, but I think when you go group and you're trying to really scale, you've got to define that. The other side of that would be, I'd love to talk about crafting your offer and pricing. And so those are maybe there's three topics in there. So whichever one you want to start with, let's start there. Maybe I'll do some follow-up questions. So pick one and run with it.
Yeah, let's talk about defining your market. Defining your market is honestly, I think, one of the things that people are more scared of than ever before. And people have always been scared of this, like really picking what is that niche and a subset of that niche and a subset of that niche to really anchor into, because we feel like we're going to lose half the world as a client. And that's very true. It really is. You want to not be available and not be appealing to most of the people out there. If I'm selling, let's say this, I have this microphone on that I'm wearing right now. It's a Hollyland 2. It's right here in this little package. If I'm selling this microphone to anybody who's just using the phone, audio equipment, computers, whatever for Zoom calls, there's a lot of market out there, and I can charge $50 for the microphone set. If I say this microphone is strictly for people who do audio for work, meaning I'm on work calls, I could be podcasting, I could be creating video content, whatever. Now it's worth probably $250, $300 because it's specialized for that market. Now, if I say I am doing this only for podcasters who use Zoom, StreamYard, or some other pick a platform, and this is specifically suited for those platforms, it hyper focuses on optimizing Zoom. Now I can charge $500 for this microphone. And it's simply because I've created an experience where if I'm like Googling best microphone for Zoom, and then up pops Amazon, and this is the microphone of choice, and it's specifically tailored, optimized for Zoom, best microphone for Zoom, everything is just all about Zoom, then this becomes a best choice for you. And it's worth the extra money because you're going to believe that it's specifically suited for Zoom. Now, no bait and switch here, not trying to be a shyster marketer, just telling you how human psychology works. This microphone, a Zoom microphone, will work for any platform out there. Just is what it is. But we believe as humans that something specifically suited to the one problem, the one dream, the one goal that I have is more valuable. We really do. We believe that the diamond ring with a certain amount of clarity or flawlessness is the best one to make my marriage last the longest when you're getting engaged. There's nothing about that diamond that's going to impact how long your marriage lasts. But we believe that, right? We believe that the flowers we pick, the photographs we take, we'll keep using the marriage analogy, the honeymoon, all of that has an impact on how this moment and the next 50 years could go. It's about you and that person, commitment, conversation, all the things that go on with a marriage. So we as humans are programmed somehow to believe that things that are specifically suited for our needs are better and worth more. Hyper focusing on your market and a sub niche of that market is extremely important from a profit margin standpoint alone. If you narrow your market down like Chris, there are 7 billion people on planet Earth, and 8 billion, I think it's getting smaller, 7 billion we'll say. And like, I've got it down and there's only 30,000 people who could possibly be interested in my product now because I got it down so tight. Freaking awesome. Let's go market. Way better than saying everybody out there. That's number one reason. I'm just going to park there for a second. The first reason is simply because people perceive that if you are a specialist in their area, you're worth more. The same hour of your time is worth more because of that perception. The second thing that's just in this picking a market thing is it's really important for you, your team, your processes. The more focused you get on one specific person, the easier it is for you to serve and see that person's needs and their dreams and their drains, their doubts, the things that keep them from accomplishing their goals. You're going to see it clearer. It's very hard to do that when you have multiple types of markets, even in a sub-market. So focus, pick a market. Most markets are good markets. The very few markets are too small. They're just really great markets out there. So get in there, pick a market, own it, lock in. And believe it or not, if you're not selling to that market, it's probably not because of your market. There's a slice of every market that can afford you. So it's not because of your market. It's probably because of your offer. And we can talk about that in a minute.
Let's do it. Yeah, let's go straight to the offer. You already teased it. And I do want to highlight this for those of you listening. When we talk dreams, drains, doubts, the first time I watched Chris go through this, and I've paid for a lot of coaching and consulting, I digest a lot of content. This for me was an aha moment. It like clicked. And then even sitting there with you in the desert, watching you go through this with the last cohort you had, there's always aha moments in this moment, because what I think Chris does really well is he makes things so clear and not complex so that you actually can act on them. In this dreams, dreams, doubts part, again, I just want to tee it up that if you're listening, if you're watching, however you're consuming this content, this is probably a moment to pay attention, because no matter what you're offering, whether it's group coaching, one-to-one, or even selling a physical product, this will impact your marketing, your sales, your sell-through.
Great. Let's talk about your offer and how to define what your offer should actually be. It's way easier than you think, and you just need a little structure around it. So let's get a little structure around it. I'm going to talk about the 3Ds, the dreams, drains, and doubts of your specific market. All right. Super important to have that hyper-focused market. Let's talk about the dreams. Let me just make sure I've got enough whiteboard space here. Yes, I do. Dreams. These are the things your clients want. They want more money. They want more time. They want more, better health, better relationships. It could be clarity. It could be clients, leads, whatever it is. Your clients have dreams. I'm a huge fan of asking why when you talk to your clients about their dreams or your prospects. If they say, what are you trying to accomplish? That's a great dream question. What are you trying to accomplish? And they say, just really got to have higher profit margins. Too many clients are quitting. Too many team members are not motivated. I want to heal my relationships with my kids. I want to live longer, have better health. I'm really struggling with that. Whatever the thing is, ask them why. Like, why is that important? I get it. I think that's important too, but why is that important for you? I got to have more clients because I just want to make sure we're building something. I got college tuition coming up for all our kids. I want to make sure we have the money we need. Amazing. Why is that important? Why are more clients going to help you get the money you need to provide that for your kids? I want them to have a better life than I had. Cool. You go down that rabbit hole as far as you want, but you got to know, why does your market, the person you serve, want what they want? Why? It's not that they want more clients or they want to be healthier. It's that they want to feel better when they wake up in the morning. They want less stress. That's the stuff that makes them make a decision. Do I want more money? Do we all? Sure. Is that what motivates me to get out of bed and actually do something? No. Typically, it's I want to decrease stress or have this thing. That's what drives us to have more money. So what is the real thing? Find out what that dream is. Okay. Here's what the offer looks like around that dream. The offer is around two different things. Drains, I'll give you the second one in a second. Drains are external issues. They keep us from accomplishing our dreams. They're things that make us want to blame our lack of accomplishment or success in that dream on someone or something else. It's the economy. That's a drain. It's my business partner, my spouse, the politics, the whatever. It's something out of my control or something I think is out of my control that I'm saying that's what's keeping me from my dream. Lack of knowledge. I don't have the tools. I don't have the money. I don't have the opportunity, whatever. Those are drains. Your job as a provider is to help people, a provider of your service, your expertise, your knowledge, is to help them accomplish that dream while overcoming the drains. You have to poke a hole through this wall, and actually help them get over and through these drains so they can accomplish that dream. Extremely important. Anything you're selling that's a tool, a template, a video series, a step-by-step process, those are very frequently around drains. They're helping someone overcome that. I want more prospects or clients. Cool. We have this software. We have this list. We have this outreach program. We have a referral thing. We have ads. We have whatever it is, right? It's helping them overcome that with a tool set. Lastly here, doubts. The doubts are a freaking solid wall that keep most of us down from ever accomplishing our dreams and from ever overcoming our drains. Remember, the drains are external issues. The doubts are internal issues. This is really all about what's going on in my head and my heart. I'm not good enough. I'm fearful. I've tried and failed. What if I try again and I embarrass myself in front of my friends and family? What, all the stuff, right? We've all hit the wall so many times as adults that we're scared of hitting the wall again. But we all have that, whatever it is for you. There's things in your life that you're scared of hitting the wall again. I've tried the health plan. I've tried to build that relationship. I've tried to make that money. I've tried to start that business. I've tried to go through the ranks in my corporation, whatever it is. Those doubts that tell you, I can't, I'm not good enough, those things are the things that are actually in your way from having enough energy and enough momentum and enough belief in you and somebody else to actually accomplish the drains. Because here's the thing, when you do the work to get to the dream, if you like, here's the plan. We take people all the time, Group Coach Nation, we take people all the time through a process of building a group coaching program mastermind, increasing their prices, getting their profit margins up, selling to more people. It's a step-by-step process. We do it all the time, over and over again. It's really overcoming the drains. Here's the process, do the thing. I would say more than half of the work that me and our coaching team does is around doubts. It's helping people really stay on track with the tool set that's the drains so they can accomplish their dreams. So your offer for your market needs to identify, I'm going to help you accomplish your dream while overcoming your drains and your doubts. That is your offer. If you don't address the doubts and the drains, then you will not get clients at a very high level and a very high profit margin. When your ideal market, that specific market we talked about, when your ideal market is really hearing you talk about, I know what you're trying to accomplish. I know the external and the internal things that are keeping you from that. And my program is all about getting you through that rapidly. They will start listening. If they don't hear all three of those layers, they won't start listening. Next time you go and watch a webinar, or you look at someone's ad that's actually successful online, or you look at their material that someone's actually successful online, you will see they address the dreams, the drains, and the doubts in those pieces of content. Watch for that next time. You'll see it show up.
Let's continue to pricing, because I know another part here. I know even myself, I'm banging my head against the wall, but how do you help people figure out how to price this thing? So at this point, they've defined their market, maybe they've crafted an offer. Obviously, there's a lot that goes into that because you're going to build the logistics on time and delivery and size and whatever else. But talk to me about price. How should we think about pricing this new thing that we're offering?
I think pricing is one of the easiest things to actually just put in place and execute on. It takes guts more than anything else. All right. Here's the right price, and then let's deal with the guts. Again, the right price, this is a dream drained out conversation. What's the price? How do I figure that out? That's the dream. The drain, what's the formula? Like, how do I actually get this right? The doubt. Oh my gosh, can I actually say that to someone and get them to pay that? Let's talk about that. Okay. So what's the right price? It's a formula. If the people you're working with do what you tell them to do for the next 12 months, what is the long-term impact that advice will have on their life? I'm going to say that again. People you work with in your target market, do what you say to do for the next 12 months. What's the value of that change going to be like in their life at the end of 12 months? Or if you're more of a long-term advisor, later in life, do this for 12 months. Here's what it equals in 20 years, or do this for 12 months. Here's where you'll be at the end of 12 months. Now, you can't control what they do. You can lead a horse to water, but you can't make them drink, so to speak. It's true. We're all humans. We have to make choices, but your job is to tell them and lead them through the process. So one last time, if they do what you say to do for the next 12 months, what will the value be in an outcome at the end of that 12 months or the long-term play if that's more your product or service? You can measure that in dollars. Hey, do these things, you'll have 20 more clients. Each one of your clients is worth $100,000. That's $2 million. Great. Do these things, this investment will turn into this, and that will be worth this. Do these things, and your health will change in these ways. What's that worth? Do these things, and your relationships will change and get better in these ways. It's harder to put a price point, a dollar amount sometimes for us when we're talking health, wellness, relationships. But we all know that the health, wellness, and relationships are worth way more than money. We all tell ourselves that. We all hear it in every documentary. It's all in every Disney movie, but we still have an easier time putting a price tag on money and time. Here's how I get around that. There's typically programs in every market that are already up and running that, for instance, a residential program I mentioned earlier that I was a part of. So grateful for people who help folks in all kinds of therapy, addiction, help, all that stuff. Just freaking awesome. If you need help, go get somebody. It's worth it. Promise. Residential programs aren't cheap. What are they? 30 to 60 grand a month typically for a good residential program if you're dealing with addiction or something like that. That's an actual price tag on what it's worth to get out of that addiction. People pay that all the time. Lots and lots of people pay that all the time. Similar programs for relational healing. You can find very legit benchmarks in your market that put a price point on this is what people will pay. Easy way to price that. If you have, okay, let's back up. If you have, okay, I've got 20 clients. I'm going to help you get 20 clients this year. Do what I say to do. They're all worth $100,000 to you. That's $2 million in revenue you're going to bring in if you do what I say to do. If it's something that concrete, I would anchor it to 10 to 20% of that number. So your price is 10 to 20% to start with. This is a place for you to start of that final number. So I'm going to make a $500,000 difference in your business this year. That's going to be $50,000 to $100,000 in price that I'm pricing because I know the value of this. I'm going to bring a $2 million result to your business over the next 12 months. The price for my services would be $200,000 to $400,000. Now, if you can get a really well-defined market locked in where you know who they are, you can start predicting that. It's pretty straightforward to say, here's what would happen. If you're like, Chris, I don't know if I could bring him 20 clients, but I could probably bring him 10. Great. Cut it in half. Bring him $1 million in the next year and charge him $100,000 to $200,000 for that result. Okay. That's the formula. Dream is in this conversation. How much do I charge? The drain. What's the formula? How do I get to the pricing? Look at the market and see what the highest end is charging, or do that math and see a percentage of the result you could bring them. The doubt. Can you actually show up and say to somebody with a straight face without just laughing when you say it, I'm going to charge you $400,000 when maybe you've only ever charged $15,000? Believe it or not, saying the number $400,000 is the same as saying $15,000 for your fee. It takes the same number of seconds, pretty similar in syllable count. The difference is in your head. If those people don't see that you're able to bring them a $2 million difference in their business, then you are communicating incorrectly about how you work with them, not the price. The price is its own piece of a sales conversation or an offer. Their understanding of their dream and their drains and their doubts and your ability to solve that is where the heavy lifting happens. What it costs is a no-brainer if they're anchored in the dreams, drains, and doubts. So own that dream, drain, doubt space. Get really good at that and start saying the price. Don't worry about it. You're going to have people gasp. You're going to have them gulp. You're going to have them say, I don't think we could ever do that. Worst case scenario, you call them back a few days later and you're like, look, I heard you today. would really like to take you on as a client. Let's figure something out where we can at least get you started. And you can start at 75,000 instead of 400 when you used to charge 15K. You can still call them back if you need to, but say the number, shut up, and let them think on it and be with it. You will be surprised how many people say yes.
You used some language there, and I want to push, and it's not fully in what you teach, but it is something you're brilliant at, is getting people to commit well on the meeting and make first payment. And I think a lot of people, this is like when I was in the marketing web world and I would tell people I get paid 100% up front. And they would just be like, that's impossible. And it's no, that's just how we do it. And I think one thing I've appreciated about you is when you get people on, because you've moved them through Strange Doubts, because you've used the stuff we've talked about, you're able to get people to commit, move, all at the end of this meeting, myself included, and everyone in your world has experienced this. Talk to me about how you get people to make that commitment moment and some of the language you use there.
Great question. The way to get people to commit in the moment is really the moments before the ask, right? And that's two big pieces there that have to be present. The first one is 100% with you. You're the one making the offer. Do you actually believe, and I don't mean self-talk, get a mindset coach. Do you actually believe that what you can do for this client will bring that kind of life-changing value? Do you? Like, it's a real question, and I don't know the answer for each of you, but you have to own that space. This is not a mantra, although I've practiced mantras in the morning for a while. I've written down lots of goals, but you have to come to a point where you really actually believe, because you can do it, that you can change someone's life. You're like, Chris, I'm just getting started in this venture. I'm not sure if I have that yet. Look, if people do what you say to do, will their life change? If so, by how much? Own that. If you're like, Chris, I just made this shit up, I don't know, I'm just trying to market something and sell something, then shame on you. Quit it. Go do something honest. But if you're for real and you're going to help your clients, number one, own it. Okay. That's the big thing. That comes through. When you're talking to a person, if you're doubting, can I really help them? They'll feel it. Own it. Number two, second half of this, they have to own where they are. They have a dream and they have drains and doubts that are keeping them from accomplishing that. Do they actually want the dream? Do they actually acknowledge they have a problem? Until those things happen, there's no point in making an offer. 12-step programs are great. First step, admit you have a problem, right? We've all heard that before. If you don't admit you have a problem, then you're not going to change your life. You're not going to hire a coach. You're not going to join a program. You're not going to do the thing. Most of us buy off of emotion. Emotion is what drives us to actually make significant change. And admitting we have a problem and we actually want something on the other side, that's a really big step for a human to take. And when that step happens and you believe you can bring that change, then you can say, here's what I do. I would like to help you. Is this what you'd like to do? I asked that on a call almost exactly just like that. Here's what you've just said. You know what I do. We accomplish this. I'd like to help you. Is this what you'd like to do? And then I shut up and I let them answer.
Heidi, Gary, Ray, if you get some questions, get those ready. Chris, what haven't we talked about that you think it's either in the book, it's something we should highlight, it's a big obstacle, a success story? What haven't we covered that people need to hear?
I think the last thing to cover around creating a group coaching program or mastermind is the nuance of all the different ways it can go. It's not complicated. It's just a path, but absolutely be in a community when you're doing this. And if not Group Coach Nation, pick some community that actually focuses on doing this. Again, if not Group Coach Nation, pick someone, but don't go at it alone. And here's why. If it was information, then you would go ask whatever AI you favor to say, what are the steps? And you'd go do it. You would have Googled it years ago. You would have listened to all the podcasts and read all the books. A community of other people doing this with you. Again, if not ours, pick someone, but do not do this alone. If you go it alone, it just takes so much longer. Having a community allows you to see what others are doing, and you will grow 5.3 times faster. You'll accomplish the group 5.3 times faster. You'll sell your seats 5.3 times faster. It just happens. Why make this take a year and 4 months when it could take 90 days? It's extremely expensive to not be in a group. Every group costs money. And by the way, I would tell you that if you were asking to be one of our clients, I would also tell you to tell your clients the same thing, because the truth of it is, if you're going at it alone, whatever the result is you're trying to get in life, it will take longer. And the cost of that taking longer is way more expensive than whatever the cost is you'd have to pay to be in a program.
Awesome. Before we dive into questions, how can people connect with you? What are the best ways to get into Chris's world other than grabbing a copy of the book, which we will link? So make sure you grab a copy. How else can they connect with you, Chris?
Yeah, grab a copy of the book. In the book, there are QR codes throughout the book, like all over the book. Here's one on this diagram page. That QR code takes you to a place where you can do the diagram interactively in the membership area that's included with the book. If you just want to say, who is this Chris guy? I want to reach out to him some way. Just Google Group Coach Nation, Chris Williams. We're everywhere. And you can reach out to us on any social platform you find is on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, whatever you want to do. We'll be there. Can't wait to talk to you.
Love it. Any questions? If you guys want to unmute and ask them, if you want to throw them in the chat, feel free to jump in and ask whatever. Oh, there's Ray joining us.
Ray, the real person.
What questions do you guys have? Anything for Chris? We've talked about or sales and marketing. He's brilliant there too. Heidi, it looks like you unmuted.
Yeah, I think one question I have is, you obviously embrace the value of the group and understand that. But what I've seen as we suggested group coaching with some of our clients is a little bit of resistance of being that vulnerable to actually share those struggles publicly. So how do you overcome that objection, or help people to see why a group experience might be even better than an individual experience?
Good question, Heidi. And that's really all in how you present it at the beginning of the conversation. We wouldn't advise you to say, hey, we also have a group we're thinking about starting. We're going to listen to this to ask all your questions. We present it as, hey, there's a group of other experts that we work with who you totally need to beat. Like, these are the rock stars. You need to be in there with them. I don't think you're quite ready. So we need to have 2 sessions one-on-one over the next month, couple weeks, whatever, and get you ready so you can play at the adult table. I'll leave it at that. The adult table then becomes a place of trust, not because you say it's a place of trust, but because you have rules in there. And every time somebody comes in there, here's the rules. Here's how we structure this. And you go over those frequently in front of the group. We do that all the time in our groups. I remember confidentiality, professionalism, all that kind of stuff. So it's really the tone of how you set the conversation up. Most of your clients now, most everybody's clients now could be in a group. It's simply a matter of how that group is set up in their perception. Does that help?
Okay. Yeah, and I'm seeing you use that to help people too. So real time, and I've used that myself. Hey, you know what? Maybe that's not a fit for you. Let's start here and then grow. And as we didn't get into ascensions, but I know that language works really well as we're talking about ascending people as well. Ray, Gary, Heidi, any other questions for Chris? Will we have him?
Yeah, I got a question. First off, Chris, thanks for taking the time to go over all this. This is really cool. I actually didn't know what I was getting into, but I felt like this was super timely. Just a kind of quick snapshot on me. So I've been fortunate enough to build like an online presence with just financial education. Probably 95% of my business comes from online. And I do a lot of one-on-one. A lot of what I lead with is education, just financial education with people. Currently, right now, I'm torn between doing something additional for the financial side, but also I've been able to create a brand online. And so I was thinking about other professionals in the space and helping them with branding. Just what are your thoughts? I guess my question is, at what point would you consider, for either one of those areas, what point would you consider offering like a mastermind or a group?
Great question. I would go after the highest value leaders, highest value influencers, highest value thinkers. Those people are going to want this more than the lower level folks. I'm a big fan of having programs that can serve all different levels, but you have to pay for the lower level folks each because they can't pay themselves sometimes, or they're too hesitant because of whatever is going on in their life. So you have to find who are the biggest players, biggest thinkers, and say, hey, we're putting together a private round table of just people like you, and you'd be a perfect fit.
Yeah.
Those people know the value also, Ray, of one connection. People at lower levels don't understand relationships and the value of those relationships all the time. But when somebody's like playing at a high level, they know the value one relationship can have on their business, their personal life, whatever. And they're looking for, hey, fine, $15,000 to jump in a program, $20,000, $100,000 at a certain level. Every interaction they have is worth way more than that to them. So that's a very cheap price, and they get it. They get value.
Yeah. And it
Now,
totally makes sense. Yeah. A follow-up question on that. Because I've done so much work in kind of the financial space and the helping people with branding is just an idea, I guess I would feel hesitant to start by helping people branding because I don't have anything. I'd literally just be coming up with something. But I have a heart for people who are starting in this space and just trying to figure out, like, how do I build this business? And I'm just a believer of creating a personal brand. I just don't know. I don't know when I would start. Is it?
yeah, I mean, you got some interesting questions there. I got a couple layers I can buzz through real quick. One is, if you're really passionate about helping people with branding more than the financial literacy or financial education or whatever, I'm not saying that's the swap you want to make, but if that's true, then you got to start. You got to. And here's two things though that are problematic. One's easy to solve. You don't know a lot about branding. That's not your experience level, whatever you believe in it. You can partner with tons of people who are really good at building personal brands, and they can be your implementation team while you're out there building the conversation, the education. Obviously, you're very good at spreading education. That's number one. I would not become an expert at personal branding. I would become an expert at communicating about the need and the drains and doubts. That's where the money's at. Second thing is, if they're just starting out and need a personal brand, they're probably not going to have the resources to hire you unless they're recently retired or selling a house or having some big wealth transition where they're like, I know what I'm doing. I just need a personal brand. Can you help me? So go after, make sure whatever slice of that market you're picking, the personal branding space, that you do that. One of the people, Tanya Eberhardt, in our book, she owns a personal branding agency. She built a group coaching program around personal branding. She only works with folks who are already successful that just don't have a personal brand yet. They have a big corporate brand. So you can find those folks. Just make sure you're in where the market has money.
That's good. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Good questions.
Awesome. Chris, I want to respect your time. So we'll wrap up now with 3 minutes to spare. As always, I appreciate you adding value, sharing your heart with us, sharing your strategies. I knew this was going to set the bar high, and it definitely did. So great content. Appreciate you, brother. And yes, thank you.
One thing for Ray and Heidi, while you're here, a couple of times a month on Tuesdays, one's actually today. It's kind of late notice on this one, but reach out and Devin can hook you up with contact. We do a 90-minute Q&A. We bring 10, 15 other coaches, experts, whatever, onto a call, and we just roundhouse ideas. It's completely free, and let you just air out, here's what I'm trying to build. What are some thoughts? How do I get that in play? So happy to offer that to you guys. Yeah. All right.
Awesome.
Have a great
Thank
day.
you, Chris. Appreciate you.
Devin, Heidi, Gary, Ray, thank y'all so much. Good talking to y'all. Bye-bye.
Have a great